what is money? What is it? What is money? Yeah, I understand it on a basis level, but why do we have it? What's the history of it? But understanding money is something that I only started to realize and research and grasp because of my discovery of a brand new digital asset and this brand new language of peer-to-peer money transfer. And I think that's startling. Hello everyone, and welcome back for another episode of DeFi Cast with your host Logan. I welcome you all. If it's first-time listeners, which you probably are since this is episode 1, I appreciate your interest in this tiny little podcast and the wide world of listening that you could do and learning you could do. But here you are, wanting to learn about cryptocurrency and what it means to be a degen. This podcast is made by degens for degens. If you don't know what a degen is, then you're in the right place. It's all those people you hear about in the news that are 20 years old and they all of a sudden have a Lamborghini in their driveway. It doesn't happen to all of us, let me tell you. But that is the type of opportunity that this new type of digital currency market offers in its infancy. We're going to get into all that and more. I just want to thank you for coming along for this ride. We're going to get to know me a little bit better. I'm going to get to know you guys a little bit better, get you guys to help us out in following the podcast, sharing it, subscribing. Do all you can if you're enjoying the content. Make sure you go to deficast.podbean.com and find your favorite listening source on there. We're listed on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, pretty much all the popular ones at this point. You can listen on whatever platform suits you best. Last episode, we talked about just kind of the introduction of what this podcast could be, will be. I mean, for someone like myself who listens to a lot of podcasts, I know when you start listening to one, it evolves quickly and changes into something. So I'm not going to put too many constraints on this. For the basis of what I want to do is just to help people. That's where the basis of what I want to do. You could be brand new to cryptocurrency. You could know nothing about it. In that case, it's a little more difficult for you for sure. But at least maybe you can learn through maybe my experiences, some of the guests that we're going to have on experiences. Maybe you can avoid some pitfalls and things that we fell into. Help people out with getting started trading if that's what you'd like to do. You can do that with us helping you out directly if you'd like. You can join the Telegram we have and ask direct questions. It's t.me. If you don't know what Telegram is, go to your app store and download Telegram, and then you would search for DeFi Cast Vanguard group and join that. Or you can check out our Twitter and find the link there. Twitter being x.com/DeFi_cast. Make sure you follow us there as well. You can reach out to us directly on Twitter, ask us questions, send us a DM. If you have an idea for a show or you don't understand something, we'll do our best to help you out. We're going to get into a few things today, the basic structure of pretty much every show. We're going to hit some news. We're going to talk some degen news. You may hear tons of words on here that you don't understand at all. And I would encourage you to look up the words, do a little research on your own, reach out to us. We can help you navigate that because there is a lot to learn quickly if you are super, super brand new. But for the regular degens in here who are here for the memes, we've got lots of content and exciting stuff for you guys too. And that's our main focus, is because that's where I live with, is the Memecoin, degen, rotating money in and out of cryptocurrencies and different blockchains at all times, trading the very extremely, extremely volatile markets that digital assets and cryptocurrencies offer. So welcome to DeFi Cast. My name is Logan again, and thank you for listening. First, we're going to go through a couple of disclaimers. Anything I talk about on here is not investment advice whatsoever. I'll go into it a little bit more right now and attach a couple other things to it. If you are brand new and looking at cryptocurrency as something to start investing in or want to explore, that's great, and you should. It's a very interesting space, and it's new, and it's fresh, and it offers a lot of opportunity. But with that comes a lot of risk as well. People come into this space with huge wallets of money, thousands and millions of dollars, and they think they're going to flip it like a casino. And a lot of things that you invest in cryptocurrency is like a casino, and people lose a lot of money. People lose life savings. You have to be extremely conservative and only invest what you're willing to lose. And I'll repeat that. You can only invest what you're willing to lose because this market is so volatile. Now, something that we take seriously at DeFi Cast and has been my golden rule is capital preservation, but protection of your little investment egg, whatever you're starting with or whatever you've built up. In my case, I've built up over 5 or 6 years. It's only now that I'm able to maybe add a little risk here and there for myself. So only invest what you can lose. Okay, Degens, you got it? It's okay. Most of these people aren't going to listen to me. They're just going to lose all their money. That's fine too. I'll take it on the trading table. That's fine. And with that, we're going to get into a little bit of daily news. We'll start with the prices, where we're sitting, and we'll top off with some stories of today. The following prices are as follows. Bitcoin sitting at 97,000 US. Ethereum sitting at 3,400. BNB 676. Solana, damn, under $200, man. Come on now. So you're seeing like a 10 to 20%, 10 to 15% drop in the entire crypto market. Actually, to be exact, 8% down today across all markets. Bitcoin being 3% of that, Ethereum being 4%. Down in the United States, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell saying that they were going to do, I think, 3 or 4 rate cuts, and instead of that, they're going to do only 2, and they've avoided recession. And when that happens, when Bitcoin drops, obviously all the altcoins, everything underneath Bitcoin, daddy Bitcoin, everything probably drops anywhere between 20 and 40 or even more, depending on your risk tolerance. 40%. When Bitcoin moves, altcoins move quicker. All right, let's touch on a little bit of Memecoin and Degen news. I don't know if you know, but Hawk2 released a Memecoin. She dumped all of her bags on all of her followers for millions of dollars and apparently went to sleep immediately after. And no one's heard from her since. As far as all of her followers know, she's still sleeping, which is hilarious. Investors have filed a lawsuit against the team behind the Hawk Memecoin, alleging it was sold as an unregistered security. The token's market cap crashed about 95%. This highlights the risk of celebrity-endorsed cryptocurrencies, especially if they're new to the space. Who knows what went on there? My take on it is it could have been anybody. It could have been a bunch of people who took advantage of her. She might not have known what was going to happen when she launched her coin. She seemed genuinely excited about it. Everyone was following it because it was going to be a hot launch. And it was. I don't know what it ripped to. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions, I think maybe 400 million market cap in like 2 seconds, down to like 20 million, resulting in extreme losses for people buying into that token, thinking it was a long-term thing. And no one's heard from her since. So, highlights the volatility and the risk in the digital asset meme coin market, especially when celebrities are involved. I stay away from that 100% all the time. I don't care how much liquidity and volume is coming into that. In my opinion, don't buy those tokens. Other notable news, MicroStrategy. The company's Bitcoin holdings have surpassed $20 billion. Michael Saylor, the Giga Chad himself, continues to buy Bitcoin at an accelerated rate, no matter if it's at the top or at the bottom. MicroStrategy's stock has also blown through the roof. Other news, Bukele, El Salvador's president, in recent months, for probably 6 to 8 months, he has instituted policies indicating that they will buy 1 Bitcoin every single day to start building a Bitcoin strategic reserve and to try and pay back their IMF loans, their International Monetary Fund loans. He's been buying Bitcoin and started at probably September, August. In the summertime, Bitcoin was hovering around 50,000. That's when he started buying for his country. Then Bitcoin ripped to 100,000 market cap. So he 2x'd all that Bitcoin that he bought. They paid off the IMF loan, which is unheard of because it doesn't happen, because usually countries get so indebted to the IMF, they can't pay it back and they have to borrow more to keep going. They just kind of kick the can down the road. I'm sure you've heard that term before. But they actually arrived, paid off the IMF, and then they turn around and they asked for another loan from the IMF. They did some policy changes and magic jiggeroo to fit their regulations for the IMF, and the IMF has granted them another loan. Now, all Bitcoiners know what they're going to do with that, what Bukele is going to do with that. He's going to buy Bitcoin with it, which is kind of setting off this nation-state arms race for Bitcoin strategic reserves. Many other countries are doing the same thing. Others are talking about it. The United States is talking about it. Russia's talking about it. China is even talking about lifting their ban on crypto. When you talk about nation states and private stock companies investing in Bitcoin, which you wouldn't even have thought would happen. I wouldn't even imagine that would have happened 4 or 5 years ago. But here we are. So that's the basic roundup news. I mean, there's some other, let me see here. There's some other pretty interesting news about Memecoins in particular. We had a couple of tokens launched today. Unicorn Fart something, UFD, Unicorn Farts, crossed 200 million market cap, still growing, indicating a strong community support or speculative interest. I missed that one, that's for sure. You will have these tokens that absolutely rip on day one that they launch. Somehow, some way. That's what the degen space is all about. It's the dream. I saw somebody post something on Twitter. They invested 0.4 Solana, which, or let's call it 0.5. That right now, that's about $100. They made $1 million. They forgot they bought it. They didn't sell or take any profit. Went back and checked, and their bag in their wallet was worth $1 million. Now, that's the Cinderella story. That's what all these degens are after. It's a hard one to catch because who's not going to sell for profit in such a volatile space? Most of us. Always leave a moon bag. On the flip side, we had a couple of more established meme coins that have been around almost a year now. Giga, something that I'm invested in myself, and Goat, which I used to be invested in. I am not now. Maybe I'll buy some because they've experienced significant declines. Down about 8% for Giga and down 12% for Goat in the last 24 hours. Obviously, it also reflects the volatile nature of meme coins, but volatility is what breeds profitability, ladies and gentlemen. That's all the news I've got for you on this episode. We'll try to cover the most hot topics of the week, the month, the year, the day, the minute, as things move quickly in cryptocurrency. Obviously, by the time you guys listen to most of this stuff, it'll be out of date, but it keeps you in the know. So before we get into the meme coins and the different asset classes of cryptocurrency, we're just going to go over a little overview of the cryptocurrency market in general and how it differs from other asset markets, as well as just a base of understanding for people to start. But if you're interested in the cryptocurrency space and digital assets, I'm sure you've seen it on the news. I'm sure you've heard of Bitcoin by this point, which is kind of funny because four to 6 years ago, there's probably a lot of people who haven't even heard of Bitcoin. But at this point during the adoption cycle, Bitcoin came out in 2011 or 2009, around there. Not a lot of people knew about it, but how many people know about it now? Quite a few. So that's something that'll start you off with. If you are brand new, don't even really know what a Bitcoin is, that is where you need to start. And this may not be the podcast for you. Just starting out like fresh. I would say you got to go and just do a little bit of homework and then come back. Not too much, and we can help you out with that. Bitcoin is where you need to start. You just need to understand what Bitcoin is, how it is interacting with our world, how it is different from pretty much every other asset class for the most part. The only thing comparable to it to help you start to understand would be gold. It's viewed as a store of value in the cryptocurrency space. If you don't know anything about market capitalization in financial markets, basically if you take the entire cryptocurrency market and you add up all of the liquidity, the money, how much is in the entire market as a whole, as an asset class, the total market capitalization of all cryptocurrency, being thousands of coins, Bitcoin included, right now at this moment is $3.38 trillion. So gold, I think, is like 17 trillion, I believe. Bitcoin is compared to gold just on the basis of a store of value within the bubble of cryptocurrency. And Bitcoin's market capitalization within this market of 3.38 trillion is 1.9, basically, let's call it 2 trillion. So over 50% of all of the money in the cryptocurrency bubble market of thousands of coins, 2 trillion of that 3.38 trillion, well over 50% at this point, and usually it's close to 60%, is all in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the big daddy, okay? Bitcoin is the first one. Bitcoin is all of crypto right now. And there are tons of other coins that you can get into, and it's very overwhelming. So what you need to start with is just learning about Bitcoin. I'll give you a quick overview if you're super brand new, because we're going to move on pretty quickly. If you have more questions, please reach out to us and we can help you individually if that's necessary. This episode of DeFi Cast is brought to you by you, the listener, the DGen, the investor. Support us by interacting with us on social media and following us at x.com/DeFi_cast. Join the Vanguard Telegram group at t.me/dcastvanguard. Our mission is simple: to build a hub where new and seasoned traders can safely learn, trade, and grow in a market full of challenges. Rugs. At DeFiCast, capital preservation isn't just a strategy, it's the only way to be successful. We take WAGME seriously. And as always, take profit, not screenshots. Thanks for listening. But basically, in short, Bitcoin is like a digital cash for the internet. So it's a digital money. Imagine money that exists only on computers and phones and not in your physical wallet in your pocket. But there's also no middleman. You can send this money around the world without a bank, without the mail, without checks, without anything. And it's like passing $1 to a friend, but it's online. It's on the internet. It's safe and private, and it uses secret codes to make sure your money is safe and your transactions are private. It has a limited supply. Some of these are very important, limited supply being one of them. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. There will never be any more. You can't make any more. You can't mine any more. You can't print any more Bitcoins. That's it. Now, only some people think this is special because it can't be printed like regular money, which is understandable. You can only buy Bitcoin with your regular money, or you can get sent Bitcoin if you go ahead and get a wallet and somebody wants to send you some Bitcoin. You can send them your public key address, which is kind of like your handle on Twitter, and they'll send you a DM, but really they're sending you Bitcoin. And the other thing is Bitcoin is extremely volatile, anywhere from 60 to 70, 80% drawdowns at times. It's wild. It's so much fun. That would be the quick and dirty. So no banks, it's secure, limited supply, it's global. You can send it anywhere without a middleman. You don't have to call a bank. You do it all yourself. Okay? So you can see the many advantages to that. You might wonder how Bitcoin works. So Bitcoin is a blockchain, which is what all of the other cryptocurrencies are based off of as well. Bitcoin transactions are recorded on a public ledger. Think about it like a spreadsheet. The blockchain is a chain of blocks where each block contains a list of transactions. Once a transaction is added to the blockchain, it's very difficult to change, making Bitcoin extremely secure. Bitcoin uses cryptography, cryptographic techniques to secure transactions and control the creation of new units. This ensures privacy and security within transactions. New Bitcoins, so new coins, are mined digitally. They're created through a process called mining, where computers solve complex mathematical problems to add transaction records to the blockchain. These miners are rewarded with Bitcoin for their efforts, which also helps in verifying and securing the network. So these computers or nodes or miners, which are all around the world, separate, they're all competing for computational power to try and solve the next, you can call it math problem, on the next block to be rewarded the Bitcoin within that block. And that's how the Bitcoins are released into the network. Now, at this point, about 90, I don't know what the actual number is. You'd have to check it, but it's well over 95% of the coins have been unlocked and in circulation through mining over the last 15 years. But the last 5% will take much longer, maybe another 10, 20 years, because the difficulty level of how hard it is to solve these equations keeps going up. So technology has to keep up with it. And there's so many different nuances. There's many nuances to Bitcoin that need to be learned and digested. And we're not going to go through all of that today. But that's a basic overview. And why I think it's extremely interesting and something that the world needs is just basically when you look around today. I mean, the economics of our regular money, which is called fiat money, is really, really bad. You know, interest rates are very high. Nobody's getting any pay raises. I just saw the Canadian dollar today is down to 68 cents US. I'm Canadian, by the way. And that's atrocious. The money that I'm making at my regular job is being eroded every single day. Every single day, it gets me less, and my time is worth less and less that I put into work. Even though it seems like you're making a lot of money, it's getting eroded away based on other things going up in price. This is the advantage that Bitcoin offers because of the limited supply. There's no controlling entity. It is decentralized. There's no central banks. There's no ability for the government to say print a million, trillion, bajillion dollars and put it into the market, making the dollars you make at your job worth less. You can't do that with Bitcoin. It's important to start with that, I think, even as a degen. A lot of people come into, gambling on Solana, another blockchain. That's not Bitcoin. Ethereum or whatever they're gambling on or whatever meme coin they're buying or degenning. And they just don't have the discipline or the ability to preserve their capital, and they blow it like they're at a casino. And if that's what happens, then you deserve what happens to you. You really need to do your research. So that's why I kind of think it's really important if you're brand new and you want to get into it and you hear your friends are making money on Doge and Shiba Coin and all these meme coins, and that's cool. And yes, you can get in that way too. And we'll help you with that with a startup package. But it's really important to start with a good base to understand it. And another thing to understand, I think, and it's something that I'll cover in a later episode, would be actually just understanding money. I've never personally understood money at all my entire life until I actually discovered Bitcoin. And I think that is very telling of, society and growing up, the education system. My parents didn't really teach me much about money. Don't spend your money, save your money. Yeah, sure. But what is money? What is it? What is money? I understand it on a basis level, but why do we have it? What's the history of it? But understanding money is something that I only started to realize and research and grasp because of my discovery of a brand new digital asset and this brand new language of peer-to-peer money transfer. And I think that's startling. You're around dollars all day long. You use money all the time. We go to work to make money. Money runs everything that you do, but nobody understands it. And I'm not saying I'm an expert whatsoever at all. But holy shit, do I understand it way better after discovering Bitcoin. So with that small little introduction of Bitcoin and digital assets, if you need more information, a couple of books to recommend that have helped me start off this journey and start learning things to get where I've gotten today. The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Amias, Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas, The Little Bitcoin Book by the Bitcoin Collective, Bitcoin Billionaires by Ben Mesrich, The Basics of Bitcoins and Blockchains by Anthony Lewis. You can grab those on audiobook and just kind of listen in and get a good understanding of the basics that you need to move forward. Other recommendations are What Bitcoin Did podcast, starting from episode 1. It's a very informative podcast with great guests from all around the industry, top leaders in all fields of Bitcoin, whether it's trading, mining, even philosophy. A great bunch of guests that are on that show as well. And then you can stick around with us as we progress into the Memecoin and degen portion of DeFi Cast. Obviously, there's a whole other subset of tokens and blockchains underneath Bitcoin, which has mostly been referred to as decentralized finance, starting out with Ethereum, which is kind of always been the second to Bitcoin. Ethereum was the next blockchain that sparked interest for a lot of people and allowed for a lot more different technologies, including smart contracts and what is generally called Web 3. So your Web 2 is your regular web pages that you see on the internet that we all know and use. And then Web 3 is kind of the integration of blockchain technology and what can be done with smart contracts and coding for kind of pushing forward Web 2 into Web 3. It has a lot of implications for businesses and so many other areas that blockchain touches when you get into these other technologies underneath it. At this point, a lot of it is speculative, just like the beginning of the internet. You remember there's a whole bunch of companies, there's a whole bunch of businesses that there was a huge bubble of businesses racing to be the top. That could be viewed as the same type of race that's going on in digital assets, Bitcoin being the first one. And usually, all these other tokens underneath it, Ethereum and all these other chains, just because they're the most well-known at this point, who knows where we'll be in 10 years, just like the internet. Businesses rose and fell, avidly all the time. Nobody knew who was going to come out on top. And now you have your Googles and your Amazons and all of these companies that really took over, kind of absorbed all those other technologies and beat everybody because it's an open free market. And that's usually what happens in these bubbles. So nobody really knows what's going to happen with all these other tokens in the future underneath Bitcoin. Solana being one of them, which has been on the uprise significantly in the last year. It's where I've been spending a lot of my time trading the Memecoin market, which is another market actually in itself that is starting to prove to be almost a subset digital asset class within Memecoins. There are people on Twitter who argue that that's actually what's happening. There's a big, massive expansion and interest in meme coins. All of the Bitcoin cycles before, your bull market and your bear market, people would generally be holding Bitcoin. And then as Bitcoin starts to rise in price, like you're seeing today and currently, they would be taking profits from their Bitcoin and they would take those profits and they'd start to reinvest in these altcoins underneath it. All the ones we've been mentioning, Solana, Ethereum, BNB. And then you'd have what's called an alt season, where all of these alternative tokens would actually see more gains than Bitcoin itself for a very short period of time, extremely volatile and very dangerous to trade. But that is usually what happens is the money comes into Bitcoin, Bitcoin goes up in price, people sell the Bitcoin, then they invest in altcoins. Altcoins go up, people take profit there. And then the third phase in a bull market is where we've started to see that money shift into meme coins. And in 2021, the last end of the last bull run, we saw what you would call a blow off top where meme coins just went crazy. Obviously, very dangerous, and a lot of people got wrecked because, I mean, I even started trading. That's when I first started trading tokens instead of NFTs and stuff. And I thought it was great. But I was coming in on the tail end, like a lot of people, because it started gaining such public notice. And we were all buying the top. And all of those people who had been in the market for all of this time were waiting for us to buy so they could sell and take their profits. So that was one of the biggest lessons for me starting out, was learning these cycles and being in the market for a good amount of time to learn what happens. And I still get wrecked. I still panic sell. I still emotionally trade, even though I know I shouldn't, and I try to follow my own set of rules. But this meme coin cycle is something that, now there's a guy on Twitter, his name's Morad. I'm sure you've heard of him if you're listening to this podcast and you're interested in degen and meme coin trading. Everyone's heard of Morad on Twitter. And basically what he is proposing is that this time around, the digital asset class of meme coins is going to be much, much bigger because people are coming into it and things are becoming easier. It's less friction to get started. There's less onboarding friction for people as Coinbase and these other exchanges open up a lot more on-ramps and off-ramps for your actual money. You know, it's pretty easy now to download a Phantom wallet and basically just flip in money from your bank account through these different exchanges. That used to be really hard to do, not even 4 years ago. It was very difficult to figure out how to onboard your actual fiat dollars from your bank account to invest. It's becoming much easier as we go along, and that is onboarding a lot more people. Now, these people are starting to gravitate towards these communities of artwork, meme coins, community building. And so the thesis goes that people coming in may not care about all these other alternative coins that are underneath Bitcoin that offer different technologies and blockchain. You know, that might be only kind of reserved for business and institutional investing at some point. And the people are going to be drawn to the funny stuff, the memes, the community building, connecting with people in the space, you know, building something together as a community. You can really take a token pretty far if you get a big group of people who are convicted on something or have conviction in a vision for a token. Because basically these communities form, they are the marketing team. They are the marketing team for the token and what type of environment and community that they offer. They turn into the marketing team, and that kind of grows and grows and grows. And that's what brings people in from all these other places. You even see the memes on the internet. There's Litecoin, which has always been described as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. Litecoin has a hard cap. It's been around for a long time, and it boasts having a lot of the qualities that people like about Bitcoin, but cheaper transactions, faster transactions, and a bigger ability to scale at this point anyway, as it stands. So Litecoin has been kind of embarrassed that all these meme coins are shooting up in price higher than Litecoin, which has been around and is real tech and is used by businesses and maybe even banks in the future. Who knows? They made their own meme because they just needed to get noticed again. They needed people to take a look at them. So they kind of, the Litecoin itself being such an old coin, an established coin, it's funny that they are trying to make a meme out of their token. I think they called it Lester. That just goes to show the power of what is happening in the meme coin asset class, which it's never really been called that until this time around. I've never heard meme coins be called an asset class, but that's what's happening. But I did want to mention something pretty special that I discovered about 4 or 5 days ago, because I like Bitcoin so much, even though I don't own any yet, but I will at some point during the cycles. I will get my Bitcoin. Something launched on Solana called Purple Bitcoin, PBTC. It has a very interesting history. A lot of these tokens get community takeovered. So somebody launches the token and they sell all their bags at the top of, the first 10 minutes of launch, on top of all the people who are trying to buy it. And then the person who created the coin just leaves. Then you have people that come in that are community group people that try to CTO it, take it over, and push it and build that community. And that's something that happened at the beginning of this one. And usually it's kind of a scam to get the coin to go up and down and kind of milk a little more liquidity out of it. But sometimes these community takeovers are actual real people and communities that want to build something around a token. And Purple Bitcoin, I saw it happening very quickly with the type of people that were coming in and how interested people were in the token. And it does have a few interesting characteristics, contractually, actually, on the blockchain. The contract for Purple Bitcoin has a couple burn mechanisms in it during transactions. Some of the supply will be burned, as well as at the beginning, the dev burned a large amount of tokens. I think 8% of the supply, the dev burned. Also, apparently, not to be confirmed yet, I'm still working on it. Apparently, it has a hard cap supply of 21 million, just like Bitcoin, even though 8% of it's already burned. So I don't know how much is left, but meaning that there are no more tokens can be made, and there's a low amount of tokens available. And people are rallying around this as something like Bitcoin is treated now, where people sell all their altcoins and everything, and they go to the safety of Bitcoin, especially during bear markets and times of volatility. And Solana is a very fast-paced blockchain, and tokens can live and die within 5 seconds, 2 minutes. They can go up and down, and that's it, and they never go back up again. That happens 100 times a day. So the thing that I was interested in, other than the community, than people that I've met who have been very intelligent, and the VC is always open in the Telegram, and they're always talking. You can tell the amount of intelligence and knowledge that is in this community, which is the attractive portion of it. Everyone is buzzing about this being the store of value for Solana degens. So basically, it would be you go and gamble on pumpfund.com, which we're not going to talk about that right now because I don't want anybody losing money yet. You would go and gamble your money on these tokens that are launching every 5 seconds. And if you make any profits, you would take it and you would put it back into Purple Bitcoin and kind of build your bag like Bitcoiners do on the macro scale and have been for the last 10 years. And I think it's a super interesting narrative. There's some other interesting things of note. The day that Purple Bitcoin was launched, Bitcoin's community Twitter also posted a picture of Satoshi with Bitcoins in his eyes. And those Bitcoins in his eyes were purple. And there was a whole purple theme. The Bitcoin Twitter also tweeted a couple more times with the same type of purple colored Bitcoin. And this is how This is what happens in meme coins. There are narratives to follow. There are things you can kind of learn of like what's the current theme going on, and sometimes you can predict where if a token's going to send, if it's going to really go up quick when it's launched. You can just kind of tell. That takes time in learning what narratives are and what themes are in meme coins. So there's a lot of interesting things about Purple Bitcoin. Again, nothing on here is financial advice. We are only spotlighting things that are outside the norm. There's lots of cats and dogs, and there's tokens that launch every day that never go anywhere. This is just something that I'm keeping an eye on and I'm taking a look at, and I'm a part of the community, and I like the narrative. I like the people who are involved, which is your marketing team. And if you find a good group of people like that, those are the tokens to kind of follow and see where they go. Because out of nowhere, these tokens can increase in price quickly. Once there's a consolidation, a lot of selling going on, and the tokens pass from weaker hands into stronger hands, who are going to hold and promote their token. I can see that happening with Purple Bitcoin, and it's kind of interesting. That's probably the only thing I'm going to spotlight today. That's the beginning of our meme coin venture. There's lots more to learn, especially the technical side, how to trade, what to trade with. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, we're going to be getting into that and talking to other people, actually, with some interviews, talking to some people about how they trade, getting some trading tips on the table. I'll tell you next episode how I approach each token differently and how I actually physically trade the token, the technology I use. In the intern, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you follow us on Twitter at x.com/DeFi_cast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app, whether it be Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube. We're live on all those platforms plus others. Join the community on Twitter, on X. You can join our specific community for DeFi Cast to discuss specific details that you want. You can DM us on Twitter if you have a question, technical or not, advice, where to go, how to do something. We're here to help. And if you want a live conversation and some safe links and stuff to get started, you can join our Telegram, which is also live. You can download a Telegram app on your phone. The link for that Telegram is t.me/dcastvanguard. You can also find that link on our Twitter as well to find it there. If you listened up to this point, I appreciate it. I know it seems a little bit all over the place trying to bring in newbies and focus on the degeneracy that we all want to enjoy in the meme coin market. It's just a wide range of things to talk about. But as we go forward, things will be a little more focused. And at this point, going forward, I'm likely going to be taking some cues from the community of what they want to talk about and what help they need. The best thing to do is just connect with us on social media so we can help get you started and help everybody specifically. Once you've got Telegram and a wallet ready to go, make sure you follow all the directions on, backing up your wallet and seed phrases and stuff. It'll be a little confusing in the beginning. Make sure you copy those words down. That is your key to your wallet. You can unlock that anywhere, no matter what, even if your laptop gets burnt or you lose it or your phone's lost. Those 25 words or 12 words that the wallet gives you as your password, unquote, that is your secret key that you can log on anywhere in the world, put that seed phrase in, and you will have access to your wallet and whatever's in it. It's not conducive to the piece of hardware that you're installing it on. So that would be the number one tip for sure. Once you have those things, follow us on Twitter and join the Vanguard Telegram. Start asking some questions, and we can show you some other tech that we use to trade, some Telegram bots and some other things, but you want to take it one step at a time. Get a wallet, maybe learn how to get your actual money from your bank account in, only invest what you can lose, put a little in, buy a token, see what it looks like, just swap it, buy Doge, buy Bitcoin, buy whatever, just buy it doesn't matter, just put $10 in and just to experience it. And once you've done that, you're off to the races. I want to thank everybody for listening. I'm excited for the next episodes and where we're going to go. Make sure you follow us on social media. Reach out, ask questions. We're here for you. And remember, DGens, take profit, not screenshots. Thanks for listening, everybody. Talk to you soon.